Shalom, WJC family. It is time for our weekly Torah Talk. This week in Shul on Saturday, we'll be reading Parshat Vayehi, literally translated, "And he lived." Ironically, it's the Parsha where we hear the death of our patriarch Jacob reported for the first time as the book of Genesis comes to a close. I want to take this opportunity as we read about the waning years of Jacob's life to talk a little bit about how to fulfill our needs right now. These are, I don't have to tell you, difficult times. This Omicron variant of the coronavirus spreading in our area, hopefully doing less damage as we know more about how to treat the virus and maybe and having some protection from vaccinations. We can hope for the best, and yet they're nervous times. Trips are being canceled, things are closing, and it's just very trying. It really weighs on us. And we have needs brought about by this situation. Needs that we deserve to have fulfilled. Now, where do we turn? We turn to the newspaper, and we're reading about statistics, and we're turning to the news, and we're turning to experts, and all of that is good. But what I want to highlight through this week's parsha is maybe it's not enough. As Jacob is dying on his deathbed, or maybe not his deathbed, but his time is clearly coming to a close, he calls for Joseph. And the midrash in Bereshit Rabbah asks, why does he call for Joseph? He has other options if he's ready to make his dying wishes be known. He's got Reuben, who is the Bechor, the oldest, has status because of that. There's Judah, who has status as the leader of the brothers. Eventually, they call him Judah the king because the Messiah, King David, would come from his line. But also, we've already seen him as a leader among his brothers, both way back when, suggesting Joseph be sold into slavery, and more recently, when he's the one who advocates for Benjamin and ultimately sways Joseph not only not to take Benjamin, but to tell the brothers who he is. Judah is the natural leader. And yet, he doesn't call Reuben, he doesn't call Judah, he calls Joseph. Bereshit Rabbah asks, why? Is it because Joseph was always his favorite? Maybe, but that's not the answer that the midrash gives. The midrash says he called Joseph simply because Joseph had the means to give him what he needed. Right? What did he want? He wanted to adopt Joseph's sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, and make them tribes, which only Joseph can give him the ability to do that, putting the sons in front of him to get his blessing. And he wants to be ensured that he will be buried in Canaan with his ancestors. Only the brother who is the prince of Egypt could assure that would be possible. So Jacob teaches us a lesson. When we need something, we need to turn to the right source, the one who can give us that something. And yes, we need information, and we need healthcare, and we need news. But you know what else we need right now? We need a hug. We need closeness. We need someone who we can talk to, who can understand what we're going through. And you know who that is? That's not experts, and it's not doctors, and it's not certainly in the media. That's our community. That's our neighbors, that's our friends and our family who are going through the exact same things that we are. And ironically, it's a very isolating time, just at the time that we need those who can provide for that particular need, is a time that we're scared to be too close. I wanted at this moment, as we see how this Omicron business will unfold and we pray for the best and prepare for difficult times ahead, to suggest that we learn a lesson from the last time we were in one of these waves, and that's make sure we have certain communities that we maintain. Check in on our friends and make sure that we tell our friends and our family how we are feeling, because that is what we need. And that's who can provide for those needs. Throughout this pandemic, we have done what we've had to do. But I think we've learned some important lessons. And one of them is that there are people in our lives from whom we just cannot be cut off. It's not healthy for us in a different kind of way. Now is the time to figure out who those people are. Who do we need to keep getting love from? Who do we need to keep getting hugs from? Who do we need to be able to have conversations with? That is the operative question at this moment. Now is not a moment to shrink our community, or if our community has already been shrunk because of the years that we have been going through this pandemic madness, now is the time to start reaching out again and rebuilding the structure of our community, the structure of our support system, so that our friends and our family can be who we need, and we can again be who they need. It is our peers. They are the ones who know what it's like to be us right now. Let's not turn away from them. Let's not allow them to turn away from us. Let's follow the example of Yaakov Avinu, of Jacob, our patriarch, and at this moment of need, turn to the people who can fulfill those needs. The people we love, the people who love us, the people we care for, and the people who care for us, the people we need, and the people who need us. May we all be safe and healthy and connected through that love and care as we move ahead. Shabbat Shalom.